Oh, good morning. Good morning. Morning. I'm waiting for a break of these lows over here. Maybe get a re-break, see a bearish continuation, because we're just about to get the hourly open right now. So get the hourly open. The daily time frame is currently moving down bearish too. Expecting price to move down towards 5-minute support that we have on the left hand side. So now this new hourly candlestick that's about to open up, we got a little bit of room down towards a 45.95. So this hourly, this is a London open here. So we just got the London open, create a top wick there on the hourly. I think if we re-break these lows, price should be able to move down. I want to see what's happening here. This hourly is still creating that top wick. It would be actually nice if you created some kind of a resistance there. I just inverted the scale to see it a bit better. Get a different perspective. But I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys are well. Where's the music? Oh, the music. It should be playing. Can you all hear the music? My AirPods was not connected. Yeah, all right. So let's see. We got we got that resistance being formed. This should still look pretty good though. Trying to see in terms of buy perspective, that should be fine. So should be good on the sells too. We should probably wait. Yeah, I think we should probably wait for a little bit more structure. Maybe like price to come down like this. Maybe come down first. Retest this zone right over here potentially, and then continue to move down bearish. Like this might be a little bit too soon for me. It is chopping quite a lot. It is chopping quite a lot because it did a liquidity grab actually, which kind of looks really nice here on the 5-minute. That's similar to what my trade was this morning, right over here. Waited for the grab, and it's the same thing that happened over here. So this is actually quite interesting. Right where my first confluence was, the same confluence happening right now. Same confluence. So now I'm just waiting for the full structure here to build. It would be nice. I would love to see like support to be first formed. I don't know why it's moving in this kind of whiplashy way. Well, because that's the market, but yeah, it's creating these really deep lower lows. I don't like those little deep lower lows because it looks more like it's trickling towards the downside. So every time it's creating a new lower low, you see price start ripping back on top. So that's what I'm trying to avoid right now. But I do think like it's still a very nice section for potential trade. I just wish we're not getting such deep pullbacks down there. Yeah, well, let's see what happens. You know, after this little fakey here, it actually should continue to drive down towards 45.95. Maybe I can see something a little bit cleaner. But daily bias is bearish. Time frames are moving down. Daily is moving down. Yesterday we couldn't move back up. That might be the London open fake out. Yeah, that could be it right there. But yeah, I'm waiting to get a little bit more information here. Because it says I don't like these situations when price does that pullback. Hey, what is it right here? So I might need a little bit more structure, just to be like fill on a bit more of a safer side here, get like a better looking trade. But yeah, like prices coming down, beautiful like SMA tap right over here on that 5 minute with that 8 SMA too. Yesterday also tumbled quite a lot. Yesterday could not continue to push out bullish, so we saw price ended up rolling over later on, so we did not get the ATH again. That was a New York session right here. Boom, boom, boom. Oh wait, did it actually like flirt? It flirted with the ATH one last time by 46.42, but we didn't really get like much of a push beyond this point over here. I think it peaked about like 11-12 pips above the ATH. But yeah, like not really much PA. I think yesterday was more like a choppy market condition overall. As you could see right there, you could see right here, a lot of choppiness, sideways movements, really small distribution phases. Yeah, quite interesting. I think, you know, we had news come out at 8:30. I think we had news at 8:30 yesterday. We got core PPI, but we just ranged, interestingly enough, because Asia session had a lot of volume, so that should have been a much smoother day. But at least the ranges weren't as bad, you know. Like, at least within the ranges, price was pushing, so I managed to catch a few trades. But yesterday, I overtraded. That was the biggest overtrade that I've done in ages. I can't remember the last time I took... how many trades is this? About 5? Yeah, I can't remember the last time I took 5 trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're quite crazy. But you know, the good thing is you can get away with that on certain days, especially on days when there is a lot of volume, right? When there's a lot of volume. When there's not a lot of volume, then it, yeah, obviously going to become a lot more risky. Although the higher time frames were ranging, higher time frames were just moving sideways. Man, the pushes were. Now, you know, the thing is, like, I had such an unnecessary loss. Over here is about like 2.2%. So unnecessary. You know, I think what happened was I kind of just lost patience. I lost patience and I saw price started move down. So I was like, okay, let me just try this. Let me try this. Then I saw my setup. Right after that happened, I saw my setup. Then I'm like, damn, if I just waited for this 1 minute candle, I'd have gotten my setup. It's amazing how the market does that, right, guys? Like, it will kind of like till the last very moment, and then when you take the trade, you should find out like a minute later. If you just waited like a few seconds, you'd have got your setup. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. But yeah, anyway, you know, we took our setup. We got our confirmation as well. We got that liquidity grab situation, and then we took the buys. The same thing that we had this morning as well, and it's the same thing we spoke about in yesterday's video. Hey, what's up, FX Fred? Today I want to go again the daily bias. Oh, against it. But sometimes if you wait, you miss a move. Yes, yeah. Sometimes you gotta wait, you miss a move. So I guess at the end of the day, you know, a trader's job is to execute and manage their risk. So you can still take those trades, manage your risk, and just keep an open mind of like what's currently happening overall. I mean, that's our job, right? Our job is to execute. It's quite different from an analyst, because an analyst would not have the necessary credentials to become a trader. Because in trading, it's a lot of psychology, and if you can't execute, you can't trade. So yeah, I think it's quite important. I'm gonna wait for a resistance to be formed here. We'll get a rebreak of the lows for continuation down. You see, the thing is here, I'm trying to avoid as many of these whips, because I feel like price should be coming down, but I'm trying to avoid as many of these pullbacks as possible. You see how many pullbacks we're getting right now? So I'm just waiting for like a bit more structure, and then we're gonna see what happens. Because a price could start flipping. I mean, we're down 0.50%, but it's not showing much of a bearish feeling. You see the 5-minute candles here are losing a bit of steam. Yeah, you got like a few candlesticks printing below the support area. Like you have 1, 2, 3, but those 3 candles have not made much of a distance. So when they don't make much of a distance, then you can expect like some kind of a whip. to be coming in, and I think this might be it. This might be the London Open fake out. It may have not been this. It may have wanted you to think it was this, but maybe it's this. But let's see. So you can create a resistance over there. It's coming down. I mean, especially if the 5-minute here flips. If the 5-minute was to flip and then re-break its lows, then I mean, obviously you got 14 seconds, so I don't think it's going to do that. It would be nice if it pulls down a bit more, so that next 5-minute doesn't feel as stretched. Yeah, I would just need I just need volume. I think that looks pretty good. I don't think it like re-breaks the lows. It should pull up again, because it's already tried this area a few times. So if we break the lows, we should be able to keep pushing down a little bit more, like a little bit more significantly. So today's bias is bearish, yeah. Today's bias is bearish. So I think as of right now, that daily has a chance of a bearish continuation, but you know, like we just got to be cautious, because look at the support. We just tap into daily support over here. So technically we shouldn't be like pushing down unless it wants to continue to push down, right? Maybe it's just a small reaction off the daily support over there. Because you know that higher time frames also in play. So when higher time frames hit those high HTF support resistance zones, then we get the fluctuations on the LTF. Doesn't necessarily mean that trend is changing. Just gotta be patient. Yeah, so anyway, as of right now, let's see kill zones. This is throughout Asia. You can see from the Asia highs right over here. We've been creating predominantly new lower high, lower high, lower high. We had almost a change of character right over here, but price then rebroke the structural point, like this structure, and it now seems like as long as we're like below this zone 4604, I think sells could be in order, right? Below this zone right over here. Sells could be in order, because this was the key structural change that we got, because that was the biggest move that we had, that, you know, kind of mopped up like these other areas on the left hand side. Alright, so now if we're back down below it, that means we could see that bearish continuation from the Asia then. But you see, that's why this is a pretty important area that we're stuck in right now. And also, if you look at the time here is London Open. A pretty important zone happening at the London Open, to see if we can re-break this key significant mark over here, and then price maybe has a retracement to fill up some of that range here on the left hand side, or if we're going to respect it and then continue to push down bearish. So it's quite an important zone, that is. It's 46, where we at, like 4605. Might get a earlier entry over here. That's if support is going to be formed, potentially. We're gonna see what happens. About like 20 seconds. This candle can close like a little bit more bearish, would be nice. But yeah, definitely is cooking. Definitely is cooking. Do you think what's happening in Iran will make gold push higher? Every time there's tensions, then that contributes as a catalyst to gold going higher. Yes. We haven't yet gone on the fundamentals yet. Gotta go through the fundamental work. let's see. Gold remains close to record levels. November produce price data, both headlines and core, came in softer than anticipated, reinforced earlier signals from a tame December consumer inflation report. The figures support expectation that the Federal Reserve has flexibility to implement multiple rate reductions this year. Okay, so we got numbers yesterday, and they're supporting the idea of the Federal Reserve having multiple reductions this year. However, some policymakers remain cautious, warning that inflation pressures may prove harder to fully subdue. On the geopolitical front, Trump signaled he could delay the action against Iran, easing fears of an imminent US military intervention and slightly weighing on the metal safe haven appeal. So Trump signaled he could delay action against Iran, which means that there's not going to be any military intervention, which means that tensions for now are being eased, which means that gold, it's not looking too good for gold in terms of what's happening currently in Iran. But overall, what's happening there is going to be bullish for gold. Alright, so it looks like price is pushing up here. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to like break above 46.05. So, see, it's quite an important area, chat. Like, this is a structural change up here. So, I mean, if it pulls up and still sets up here, it would be also nice to get like potential sell up there. But we want to see what the session bias is going to be. Right now, the way it's it's been structured, it looks like even a potential bullishness for London session. Maybe London session can end up just becoming bullish. You got like a nice inverted head and shoulders over here, starting to break above resistance. You got beautiful clean range on the left hand side. So technically speaking, I guess volume should be coming in. Price should be moving upwards here at this point then if it's breaking resistance. Got a range of about 45. About 45 pips. Oh, what did I say on the 4 hour? Yeah, let's see. 4 hour. Uh, 4 hours looks like it's rejecting. It's rejecting some kind of a support over here. That's at daily support too. 4 hours got resistance from here to here. So you do have a nice little range on the 4 hour to keep moving up, like 216 pips. That's possibly the next 4 hour candle open, which on Oando, like a different broker, will open in the next, I think, 1 hour 42 minutes. And potentially might see a situation where the 4 hour continues bullish, because you know we're still overall in a bullish market environment. So that's why I'm very cautious to see like what price is gonna do here, because of all these rejections, right? We got like support, we got daily support. But an important thing as well is that, you know, price did break below like this level. Previously we tried to hold it. I mean, obviously we faked below it once, but again, we try to hold it to try and move up, creating a support to support the idea to move up. But that's what happened yesterday. Yesterday could not continue pushing all-time highs. It flirted with ATH at New York session, tapped it a little bit, but then overall it started coming down again, back down towards like daily support. So it's showing like a little bit of weakness for sure. But overall, you know, if you want to be simple about this, then we can just say the market is ranging. It's just pretty much like support here. You got resistance over here. So it's in a ranging phase, because those are two market phases, right? You're either going to have market phase, which is distributing, and you're going to have market phase, which is ranging, such as this. So, you know, you're going to get some candles start to move up. And when you come into this zone, you know, something a little bit more interesting starts to happen in these areas. Because in such areas, you start looking for entry confirmation. Sometimes you get that liquidity grab. Looks something like this, and then for price to continue to move up bullish. But that's currently where we're sitting at right now, potentially on the 4 hour, taking out these lows, because that's a pretty long wick that sticks out to me at least. But we have to wait and see for that follow through. If we don't get the follow through, then, you know, then I mean, at that point we're just gonna be stuck within this general vicinity where we can get some counter trends like sells. Counter trend in terms of like overall daily bias, because daily bias, like overall gold bias, because daily bias is bearish. We're down 0.45%. We're not moving up. Like if you look at the daily bias, we're not moving up. When you look at the higher time frame bias, we're moving up. We're moving up. But like, what are you trying to catch? It depends what you're trying to catch. You know, I think like for me, trying to catch maybe like 16, maybe 20 pips, counter bias is completely fine. But if you're going for like much bigger stop losses, let's say you got 100 pip stop plus, then you just want to be looking for buys. And then look at those rejections on the 4 hour, the daily. But yeah, as of right now, we still gotta wait for structure. There's nothing. Let's see, do we got any news? We have unemployment claims. Oh yeah, we got unemployment claims today. Expecting good numbers. I mean, bad numbers. We're expecting an increase unemployment claims, which means gold should technically speaking move up during 8:30 a.m. Yeah, besides from that, Bailey is gonna be due to speak later. Nothing too important regarding that. Nothing really stands out. I'm gonna look for a sell potential. Wait, should we look for a sell maybe? Okay, no, it's pushing really strong. Oh, this candle just melted like 40 pips. The 1 minute candle is actually kind of big today. The 1 minute setups too. The setups are quite big. Hey, what's up, Rainsy? Pretty big candle that is. It's kind of hoping to create something here. It's struggling. It's still playing. It's still flirting with that structure that we spoke about. The way it needs to break above that change of character level. See, it like kind of spiked above it a little bit, so it could still be coming down. It just needs to find like, if gold wants to move up, it needs to find some kind of a support over there. Just like a general zone. Some kind of a support. You see, because that was a change of character right above here. Right here, that was a new high that was formed. But you see, it's kind of created like a head and shoulders as well. You got left shoulder here. Zoom in a bit. You got left shoulder head, you got right shoulder. And we're still respecting this kind of general break in a retest zone from that accumulation, where there was even a fake out that happened above here. This is that fakey above this resistance. Boom, 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 left shoulder, right shoulder, break and retest, accumulation zone. Minor accumulations in there as well. There's another accumulation literally like right over there. That's the distribution. That's that clean range that it was looking or trying to fill on that break. But now it's like coming back down into this range. So you see, it's like kind of like within a kind of choppy, overall like choppy condition. As far as the London session is open right now. Expecting a slow London session though, because of NY session numbers and employment claims. It could be I mean, that's what happened with yesterday's core PPI as well, I think. I reckon that's why yesterday's also session was a bit rangy. Because core PPI, core retail sales. So yeah, you could be right. Because you see right now what Goldie is doing on the lower time frame. It's when you look at how prices open from the London session open, it's very rare that people are gonna make profit because there's no there has not been any significant. It's very tricky because there has not been any significant sort of a distribution because we're still in that setting up phase. Like overall, you see the market has not really moved anywhere. It's not moved anywhere much like what you'd have here, for example. So this is much harder. You see, this is such a big difference. This is a lot harder. You're going to make any profit over there unless you're very quick about it than this. So this is what we're looking for. But we need the market to set up something here that we can get this. But in the meantime, we have to kind of sit on our hands so we can avoid the fake outs before getting this. Because a lot of the time we get stuck in the fake out before getting this. Alright, so maybe create like a support here, like a pretty strong support. Look something of the sort like that, and then get candles start to come down again. Let's get a strong break below this region here by 4600. I think that would look good. What wouldn't look good would be like a tiny support and then a rebreak of 4600. So as you can see right now, we are actually at a psychological mark as well, 4600. So if setup comes right above 4600, this is a pretty important level that we have to get through. So I'm going to wait. I'm not going to rush that because it would be nice if 4600 was like right here, but you see it's right there. So a sell below that wick still have to, like, buyers are still in control of 4600. So yeah, we got to wait and see. Maybe to try and pull up a little bit more, get that support to be formed. They could play around this area for a bit and then break. I think by the time we break, we're going to take 4600. But if we break now, if we get a setup now and it breaks, I don't know, it'll be a bit risky. Yeah, so pretty much just a waiting game. It's doing another liquidity grab. You can see on the 15 as well. Deep pullback. Look at this. Taking out the highs. Retesting the previous accumulation there on the 1 minute, which was this section we spoke about, where price even faked out above 4612. It broke and retested. Yeah, so this could be that liquidity grab on the 15, maybe to pull down. But you can see there's been a lot of liquidity grabs already since that London Open, like we spoke about. There was this one here as well. Candlestick breaking the highs and then pulling down, and then next candlestick coming up, breaking the highs and then pulling back down again. Still deciding what to do. What are we going to do today? On the 30, it filled the gap and forms a doji now. Maybe a sign for a buy. The way I'm looking at all these candlesticks here, I'm even just because I don't typically like, I can see the HTF on the LTF as well. So like when I see many candles like this is just to me looking like a doji. Yeah, that's just a doji. So yeah, you're right. I mean, if we start to break the highs of the doji, then maybe price has got a better probability to move up. If we break the lows, then price got a better probability to move down. And the lows are going to be obviously here by under 4600. See how 4600 is still holding? We might actually get our entry at 4600. I might get my entry at 4600. But I think I would still like to see more PA. Entry at 4600 would be quite nice. It's a clean break. Chow will be exactly 4600. Talk about confluence. Right at 4600. That's what I wanted to see first. I want to see it play around this region a bit more. A better idea. Better idea if you can respect that 5 minute, because you see right now it's just whipping a lot. On the 15 minute just took out the highs. Previous 15 here took out the lows, and it's kind of what I call like a fidget spinner PA. Fidget spinner PA, where it's not really going anywhere. It's just like holding within a certain zone, such as this. So you know, like, what can you do in a certain zone like this? You know there's a shark in the water when price is moving like this, correct? You know there's something cooking. There's something good. Like, why would it break highs, pull down, break lows, pull up? So important thing is just to be patient and wait for something that kind of sticks out, you know? Like, I think when it comes to trading, you're always looking for that thing that sticks out to you. You know, if it's not sticking out, then what it happens is sometimes you can end up forcing it. If you really want to take a trade, you're going to end up forcing it. But you know, you're going to have these days where it's so obvious that when you come onto the chart, you can see it without even doing much work. And those typically are the best trades. Then you got these other trades where you're sitting on the chart and you're just waiting for a move. Then you kind of like end up taking whatever the market gives you. So I think, yeah, it's good if you just wait. Yeah, 15, that 30 doji. You see that 30 doji over here that we spoke about. See on the 1 minute, but on the 30, you got that doji. It's starting to move a little bit more. See how it's breaking? It just took 4600. Had a small slip. If you notice, just had a small slip below 4600. Let me remove this. Pretty big accumulation, that is. Like a 3 white soldiers on the 5 minute. Right over here. 1, 2, 3. Starting to break below support. Got about 2 minutes, 15 seconds. So yeah, this has been a very choppy, very choppy London start. Because of the way it just faked out this zone here on the left-hand side and the way it faked out that high. So see, you got to fake out here. You got to fake out above here as well. So what's the probability that when price is going to stop faking out? You know that if it breaks, it's going to break with a meaningful volume. Usually waiting a bit longer helps. Till you see something that sticks out. Like yesterday's trades, for example. You know, like yesterday's trades, you gotta wait a little bit longer. And then there's always something that stuck out. You know, like here, the fake outs were sticking out after the loss, then take a buy. Here, the buys were sticking out after the loss on the sells because of that bottom wick that was formed. So then the buy just comes to you naturally. Got stuck on the liquidity grab. Oh, looking for a break. Hey, structurally speaking, I mean, it did look pretty clean to break. And then push up. What's my bias? I'm looking for sells. if it sells, but overall I'm looking just not to take a trade that I'm going to regret, because sometimes the longer you wait like this, the more you feel like that trade is coming, like it's right around the corner, it's right about to come, it's right about to come. But then it forces you to take something that you don't want to take, you know. But you feel that just because that it's been not moving anywhere, that whatever it throws your way is going to be the setup. So it's also about like protecting psychology, I think. Especially in choppy market conditions more so. Because you see, like when price is moving like this, it kind of like, I call it, looks like spaghetti. It kind of looks like spaghetti. So you end up, especially with the way I trade, or people who even trade the 1 minute time frame, they're going to end up seeing a lot of things that they're going to think are going to be like setups. This happens to 1 minute time frame traders. If you go on the 5 minute, you still got to wait for a lot more 5 minute candlestick closes. The 5 minute is a little bit more straightforward, because on the 5 minute you can see that you got a resistance here, you got a support here, right? So ideally you want to see price start break above here or break below there. On the 1 minute, the game is slightly a bit different because we have to deal with a lot more structure. And literally, like, the trade can come out of this mess as well. So it's definitely a different ball game, because the trade could come out of this mess. It could literally like set up a trade like right here that comes out of the mess, and you could easily miss it too. Because like on the 1 minute, you're gonna use more like overall a PA, but on the higher time frames, you got these fatter candles. So you kind of using more based off of like overall range. Like even on the 5 minute, like you see like from here to here is a pretty big move, like 40 pips, and then towards like resistance here 63 pips, and that also kind of goes in line with like what you would see on the 15 minute, possibly 30 minute and onwards, even up to the hourly time frame, because you get that clean range. Hey Fear, thank you for the sub. Yep, so that's it. That's the daily, rejecting off that support. 4 hour, few rejections off that 4 hour too. You can see the wicks pulling back up. Overall 4 hours stuck in the range too. So watch yesterday's video on choppy market conditions, because this is what we gotta deal with. You see, even right here on the hourly, you can see they got some choppy market conditions here. Boom, boom, boom. We're at the lows of the 4 hour right now. You can see this, lows of the 4 hour. So ideally, I guess like price should be moving up bullish. You should see some kind of a push, just based off that market structure right here. You should ideally see it come back to retest those highs. But you see, for the daily to flip, we have to break above 46.26. And for the daily to flip, again, we're just gonna have to push around 240 pips. $240 pips for that daily flip. You know, if it flips, that's the all-time highs. So if it flips, it should actually have like a bit of volume to come and then re-break its own highs at the time it's going to be flipping there. And if it wants to move up, it could move up here. It's already tested the support. I think that's what the London session is still deciding based on this structure. Because this is now essentially becoming reversal signal 2, where we spoke about this level right over here. Our price broke below it. So it's no longer in this distribution phase. Right, so you got that distribution right over here. It's no longer in that distribution phase. It's more like consolidating. So that's going to be a potential reversal signal. And given enough time, more structure that forms, once it starts to break this high at 46.06, might see it come back to retest this. You see volume starting to come in a bit, but it might start to retest these levels from previous Asia session sellers. But this is basically like the warning sign, right? That's like the insurance basically. So for people who's like holding sells, there's a little accumulation break here too. But they gotta manage their position. Because as far as London goes, for this hourly, we've been in it for 40 minutes now. There hasn't been any distribution. And for every hourly candle, you should ideally see a distribution, right? So this hourly here has not moved at all, but it seems that it may start moving soon. In the last 20 minutes, we got 20 minutes. Yeah, chat. Hope that analysis was good. Hope you understood the analysis, what we're looking for. How that change of structure over here makes a pretty huge difference too. You know, because like this is from, let me put it from, yeah, for anybody like missed a bit of it. So this is the Asia highs, like higher, low, or lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. Then you had like one change of character right here, because that was the like most significant push. And now we're trading at a very significant point, which is also 4,600 psychological mark that the buyers are trying to hold. See, buyers are trying to hold 4,600. So this is like the region here where we're either going to see a bearish continuation. And at this point, I think we could even re-break the daily lows, right? Come back to retest these levels down over here, or price will decide that it's time to move up based off of the higher time frame volume, the overall higher time frame volume on the daily, which is doing this. Correct. We're at ATH. Yesterday we're at ATH. So I think it's going to be quite important. We'll see where it moves from this point. But you got to be careful with also having too much of marrying too much of a bias, because you see what happens if you marry too much of a bias yesterday as well. You would have gotten like wiped out based off New York session. New York session came down, would have wiped you out if you're too focused on the buys. Like even yesterday I was so focused on the buys, but I think the reason why my trades also like playing out yesterday, because I had my buys at the bottom of the ranges too. So when I was taking a buy, I was taking a buy here. We called out a few buys here with a little bit of fake outs. And then there was my buy right over here. So I was taking it at the bottom of the ranges, right? Whereas people trying to buy the highs, they're the ones who are getting like faked out, getting whips. They get whipped because they are trying to force the bias. And then obviously then you see price melts. And then only moved up again during the London close. But this is a time of volume where I feel like most people are not going to be trading this far into the New York session, typically. Yeah, after London close. Goldie is surely coming up, slowly but surely coming up. Gonna need to get through that resistance though. Yeah, looks like London might be looking to fill that range. So it's created that fake out. It first created the fakey below here. Below here, struggled a lot, and then created like a new higher low. Right here. Higher low. This is a higher high within this vicinity. And it's trying to create a new higher high. Right now. You got about like 1 minute. It just created a new higher high in the 1 minute. Because you just got a 1 minute candle close. Oh, wait for 5 minute. 5 minute higher high. Then it's got that range. 33 pips. Liquidity sweep. Yeah. You probably see it on a higher time frame. You can see it more on the 15. That's true. You see on the 15, you can see a little bit better here because on the 15, you can see how it broke below that support, and then look at how it accumulated. This whole time it's just been accumulating. And this was the liquidity grab that happened right below here, correct? There was even a mini liquidity grab that happened there too. Look at this. Now it's trying to break above that accumulation. As I said, like this is also giving these sellers here warning that a price is struggling to continue to move down. So yeah, I mean, like we just got even 15-minute candle close above now. See if this creates a bottom wick where he breaks the highs. Five-minute close. Create a nice bottom wick. Healthy bottom wick. But again, it's a counter trend move too because of the daily bias. Still a counter trend move. You know, we still don't know what the London session wants to do. This is where it's at and it's setting up for a potential move. So if it distributes, it's going to distribute potentially from this zone. Once it starts breaking above like these previous candlestick highs, you're going to see that distribution, that clean move. You see like how you had a clean move here. Then you would see a mirror, or you'd be expecting to see a mirror of that same action here on the left, right hand side for price to continue moving up there. But you see, we haven't yet had that yet. Like London session is still deciding where to go. See, now it's just taking out the lows. So essentially that's another whip. That's taking out traders. So you're watching it, but there are people around the world who are also trading the markets, right? So this is taking out traders right here by 46.04. I would be in this trade. If this was year one, I would already be in this trade once this candle here closed like this, and then my stop loss would be right below it. That's typically like how I used to like to trade. Wait for candlestick closes and then get it on the closes before I start focusing on wick breaks. So yeah, it's still shaking a lot of people out. Usually in conditions like this, it's a lot harder for people to make money. That's why you're gonna see a lot of people pass accounts and funded challenges when markets are overall trending, because there's less of a shock in the water and there's more confidence in direction. But unfortunately, the market most of the time is like this. So you could survive for like a short period of time because the distribution phase is also a pretty short period of time. But majority of the time, price is also just ranging, correct? Like even if you look at the nature of the markets, distribution phases would typically just be a short duration. That's when people enjoy a lot of that clean volume. But majority of the time, they have to figure out like, how can I survive this period, which is a much longer period that makes the difference of whether I can keep what I made here, but I need to learn how to trade this. And this is called the trenches. Right? It's called the trenches. And also don't get it completely twisted, because it's a good example to show, you know, like right here, you can see it too, like that's the distribution phase. And then people maybe just get in during certain phases like this and they think trading is going to be super easy. And then they quickly get back into a phase like this. And that's what we call now the character building phase as well. You know, it's a character building phase. Character building phase here. And then, you know, sometimes also that distribution is not as clean, but there's still a higher probability that you're going to make some profits when price is moving like that, as opposed to when price is moving like this. Done. Look, this is how I avoided the fake out or sells to the top. Managed German 40, but was a good sell from there. Wait, where's the entry? I don't see the entry. I think you gotta label the chart. This is the German 40 here. Pick a buy. And then price moved up. Close to, was it a break even? Put stop loss to break even. And then price came down, right? Then you got stopped at BE. I think that's what that is. Ooh. Still did not move up. You see, that's a super important way for like wicks to break. At least wait for a wick to break. About 6 minutes, like price to come back in the range. Like label that no trade zone even. For now. I think what'll be nice to see is if price pulls up or sets something here and then does a liquidity grab and then starts to break the lows to come down. I've been in this situation before where price is ranging like on a bigger range like this, and then it gives me an entry model in between the range such as this. And then I take that execution in the middle of the range, and then it starts distributing from this area, and then it breaks those lows, and then it continues pushing from that point. So this is something that can potentially happen here too. It doesn't mean like the whole zone is going to be bad. It just means that you got to wait for, it's kind of like a needle in a haystack, right? When you're going to have a strategy, your strategy is essentially a needle in a haystack, you know, because like markets are moving, and it doesn't mean you always got to trade, but you have to wait for that thing that you're looking for to set up. And then you get that set up, and then you take the trade. That's what trading actually is. Hi everyone, are we in shark infested waters today? Yes, we are. We are avoiding a lot of fake outs here. Like, look at this. Fake out here, fake out here, fake out down here. There was another fake out here as well. You can also see on the 15. The other way, the 15-minute just like pulled down below that support. It's a lot cleaner there to see. Boom, and here as well. You can see it a lot cleaner. You know, so this is a very tricky one because it wasn't like yesterday's shark infested waters. Yesterday's shark infested waters, like at least after the fake outs, they were giving you the direction. Remember, like, here we go. They were giving you the direction. So like you gotta fake out here, and then it gives you direction. You gotta fake out here, and then it gives you direction. You gotta fake out here. I also got caught in this one. And then it gives you direction. But today, I think gold woke up and chose violence. But there's still not been any entry confirmations though. Because like even if a wick break over here for a shotgun play, there was no wick to break. Wick break over here for a shotgun play, it didn't break the wick. Accumulation breakout, no confirmation that I'm seeing for clean accumulation breakout. Gold has built 2 hour support at psychological level. Alright, let's see that. HDF. Hourly's closing in about 6 minutes 40 seconds. You can see it's still like a doji. Got that 8 SMA holding. That hourly, I think it's also struggling with this level. Right over here. But it broke it once. It came down. That's a daily support. Now it came back up, retested that zone. There's a 50, I think that's 50 SMA also kind of holding price within this general region. But since we're about to get the new hourly candlestick open in like 6 minutes, imagine if the next hourly opens. This has been a no trade zone. So this whole time, what we've seen actually is an accumulation of price, right? So eventually that accumulation, it needs to distribute somewhere. You know, like somebody has to get paid eventually. It's like a casino in a sense. Think about it that way. Like a casino needs to pay you. Eventually it needs to pay. But the difference between trading and casino is you don't have to play. Whereas a casino, you have to play. But now we're waiting to play when it's time for the casino to pay us out. So you might see candles start to do something like this on the next hourly open. Actually, it's just going to be 1 hour. And then come down to potentially retest this zone if it's really struggling to continue to move up bullish. Because I'm not looking for buys at this moment. I'm actually looking for more shorts. So that's why I'm still keeping an eye out for this level right over here and see if I can get... Remember, I just drew the setup that I wanted to see. Right over here. And then get that formation happen like right in the middle. And then get the sell towards the downside. And then we're going to see that with the new hourly to continue moving down. You know, so I'm waiting for that setup to happen like right here. May potentially happen here. If it doesn't happen there, actually I need to lock in here a bit. Gold falls on profit taking, easing worries about Iran. Oh yeah, exactly. And we have that as well. You see, we just got the notification there. We just got the notification there. So we'll see what we can do, or what I can do here. So maybe we're going to take like a sell. Since it's already breaking those lows, I might not be able to get it sooner. Well, let's see. But I want to catch the distribution. It hasn't yet had any. Alright. Wow, that's a pretty long wick. It pulled up nicely, but that's a long wick. Alright, so if it breaks this wick low, then it needs to break with lots of volume. I like the structure there. The wick is just really long. You see, this is that setup I was talking about, but it might be a buy even. We'll see. I kind of wanted to see it distribute from this section of a sell. You got like a few minutes till the new hourly open. In about like 3 minutes. You see how the 5-minute looks? If it's gonna liquidity grab, you see how that wick there looks? It's gonna liquidity grab. You see how it like reflip? Then it should just move up. It shouldn't start re-breaking its lows. Alright, chat. I'm gonna get into sell if we break these lows. Looks like it's about to break. We might get the break now. Oh, how's it behaving? Still kind of pulling up here. I think there's an SMA there it's reacting off of on the 5-minute. Yeah, you see that? Just tapped into that. SMA created like a small little kiss of death. See how it's fluctuating? It's cooking up. There's something about to come here. There's something about to come here. It might end up being the buys if it breaks those highs. Oh, it's breaking the high. Let's see what happens. But we might start to see some form of a distribution happen soon. I'm still waiting on my sells, so I got about 2 minutes till the new hourly open. Pretty close. Came pretty close to triggering it in. Just needed to push like 7 pips. Now the setup looks super familiar. Because you know, like every day you're gonna trade, it's the same thing. The market does the same thing daily. But it's just a situation that slightly changes. You know, the situation, like this specific situation. I remember being in this. I actually took a straight. We took a trade like that on stream before as well. And it was a really nice trade and it played out beautifully. And today we're having the same thing. But you know, every day you kind of having. When you get a strategy, it's not just about the entry and the exit, etc. like that. But it's also having a memory of each context that market puts you in. Correct? And that's actually what experience is. Because people are too focused on just a strategy that they're forgetting about the sample of this. Like imagine if you put this on like a sample. If you're a scientist in a lab, you're gonna have several of these like dishes, right? You know what scientists use? So you're gonna have several of these dishes, several of these samples. So it all looks the same. It's all the same kind of virus that you're studying, but you're studying that virus like on a different, being affected by different conditions. That's what it is. You know, but like you have that, the cure, this is the cure. The cure, you have a cure in each one of those samples. So you're seeing how the cure like reacts to each one of those samples. So I've been in the sample size before, and I think it's a pretty good sample size. That price would have, like if it rebroke the lows, that it would have actually melted off. Been a pretty good probability. It's like creating a fake out above there. Slightly change the structure though, because now we have a fake out. It'd be much nicer if it came down, created a resistance and then came down again like this, like a right shoulder situation. But we just got the new hourly open too, so let's see what it's doing. Got 15-minute SMA. It's a very tricky area to trade. Could take it off the rip there. Use that as a fake out confluence. So that's how it would look if it was a buy, because I know some of you are looking for buys. That's how it would look like if it was a buy. So you would have price fake that level, break the highs, and then continue to move up bullish. And with the new hourly open, hourly should have volume inside of it. This new hourly should have volume to have some kind of a push. It'd be nice if it created that small resistance for me. But this candlestick can close bullish. About 10 seconds. I can't disagree. The 15 and 30, this is consol. Nice, so we got the bullish closure. I like that better when it looks like this, because now it retested. It just retested this previous high right here. So retest that previous high. Now just need to wait for it to break here. Now volume should be coming in. Very tricky area. Very tricky area. Let me put it this way. If I was doing like a very risky challenge, I wouldn't take this trade. Let me put it that way. If I was risking like 5% or risking like a lot, I wouldn't take this trade because it's requiring a lot more effort and a lot more analysis. It's not as simple as, oh, we just had FOMC and gold is moving up the next day, you know? So you just take a buy. Let's see if we can get that follow through. Up, volume should be coming. Kind of slipping there a little bit. That low-key kind of scares me. Kind of gets me excited. When it slips like that. It's like, oh, are we moving now? Then it's like, oh, it pulls up again. Because that's the thing about the market. Like, when it decides to move, it's gonna move. And it's gonna move without you. You know, like, that's the whole idea, is to make you feel comfortable. So when you're super comfortable, you're like, oh, you know, let me just go to the bathroom real quick, or you're just gonna get too comfortable and then you forget. You see like how it's pushing here? Look at this. It's gonna trigger me in. Three seconds, 2. All right, nice. Create a top wick. This is the candle that needs to break. See, if that candle does not break, then there's no confirmation. See, that's why it's pretty important to wait for wick breaks. It doesn't seem like the candle is gonna break. Might have to wait for it a bit lower. Structure kind of shifted there. That would have been pretty straightforward if it just broke. Now it's put me in a very confusing situation here because it just faked out above here and now it's faking out below here. It looks like it's going up slowly on the 1 minute and volume keeping up with the movement up. Should have just broke here. Because even the sell down below there is not the cleanest. It could be a bit better. On futures it broke. Yeah, the wicks. This is John Wick territory. Wick scaring you. Because imagine the type of finesse that you have to catch the distribution out of the zone. Can you imagine? Because it hasn't distributed even once, so you have to be right once. You have to avoid all of this and be right once. It's a very difficult market condition to trade. So that's why I'm trying to be cautious. But at the same time, I know it's going to distribute something that I'm going to look at in hindsight and say, oh, maybe I should have taken that. But when you're trading in live, you know that it's not what ideally you would have wanted to see. So I'll wait for, maybe it's going to cook up something here again. Let me see. Would I take a sell below here? No, I think I would wait for, before I sell below here, I'd wait for price to come down to retest this zone and then break again. Rather than just completely melt straight down such as this. Are you going to be removing the background music? I think it'll be elite if you do. Let me run a poll here in the live stream. I ran a poll already and majority of the poll said to keep the music on. I ran up the poll. Just leave your votes. Let's see if this section here can redeem itself. May be able to redeem itself. It starts pulling up again. But I know like some people like the no music thing. I also get it. But I tried not playing annoying music. My music is kind of neutral. But I kind of want to update the playlist a bit more just for like more neutral music. But yeah, I think it should be fine. Come on, chat. Don't disappoint with the poll. It's too quiet. I had to turn you up to even hear faintly. Oh, nice. Always learning something each time on your lives. Amazing education. Thank you, Jane. All right, awesome. Yeah, so gonna wait over here. Gonna wait and see if we can get price to rip up a little bit more. Retest that resistance by 4604 and then get the break, like a proper break. You see, that's the whole thing. It's whenever we get the entry confirmation, we're supposed to get a reaction, correct? It's like a science experiment. You're supposed to get a reaction when you see your entry confirmation. It's supposed to do something. That's how you avoid these kind of like random trades. A lot of time people get caught in like some random trades. Okay, so like it's not 100% perfect, but it will help you eliminate a lot of the unnecessary moves. Having that specific thing that you're looking for. So let's see, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. See, it's doing liquidity grab. You can see on the 5-minute again, it just took out the lows. You see how I take out the lows right over here, and then it's ripping back upwards. Like this would be crazy, chat. If we actually get that trade, that's literally like 1%. If we cash the distribution, that's 1%. Because the rest of the 99%, it's just been ranging and grabbing wicks. So I mean, like in that sense, it would make the trade like not like just any other trade. So you just did a 5-minute grab here. 5-minute grab. There's no bottom wick. It just came up. The good thing at least is direction. We have daily bias direction. That's a good thing. All right, look, it's coming down. Yeah, especially if this 5-minute was to flip. You see the 5-minute candlestick here would be reflipping, creating the bottom wick, re-breaking the previous lows. At that point, we deserve some kind of a push. Honestly, if this candlestick reflips, breaks the lows, we deserve some kind of a decent push. Shaking people up. Right now we're facing emotions US dollar. It's like trading volatility index over here. The VIX. How is the VIX doing? See how 100%, you got 100% strategy on the VIX. See how my trade is doing. Oh, my trade went into profit like one time. All right, we went into profit one time. We came down. We went into profit another time. And now we're sitting here in some kind of a drawdown. Wow, look at this. The VIX. VIX is kind of chilling here. let's see if that breaks. Should still be clean. This new Xauusd as well. The Xauusd has not had any pushes in it yet. See, the Xauusd is still hanging out in this general area. Had a small reaction off that 8 SMA there. We seriously need to get through that 8 SMA. That 8 SMA is giving these Xauusd candles a hard time. Keeps like bumping into it and then pulling back up. Alright, let's see. Maybe I might get triggered here. It's coming down to re-break. This is going to be the re-break of the Xauusd lows. It'll be nice to get a new fresh 5-minute candle. Yeah, that whole zone is so sketchy. If you look at the 5-minute, that whole area is so sketchy on the 5. Because this is a zone where we've already seen candles love to pull up. Pulling up, pulling up, pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. But you see, since the London Open, we haven't had a shot yet. Basically trading the range. That's what this will look like to a lot of people. Like we're just trading the range, which we are. Essentially trading the range. But this is the needle in the haystack of the range. $15 looks worse. Yeah, you can see it a lot cleaner there. SMA is catching up there on the 15 as well, kind of like bullying it down. That's the 8 SMA. We call it the bully SMA. 30 SMA is still trying to hold price up. 1 hour SMA is also kind of holding price up. 4 hour looks like we might get a wick fill there in the 4 hour. If price ends up distributing, we're going to see a wick fill on the 4 hour. 15 minute, yeah, we're holding 15. 5 minute, we're kind of consolidating. You see the mouth, the SMA is stuck in between, so it's like chewing. 5 minute SMAs are just chewing the candlesticks here. Let's see, 1 minute. We're gonna have 1 minute in our favor. You know, the good thing about situations like this too is because if you do end up catching the move, it typically can be a very nice push. It can be a very beautiful, like really volatile push. Like even take out these lows below 45.97. It's because of the amount of anticipation that there is in there, that if we end up getting a confirmed entry, then that would be a very nice push. I think that's how you could look at like any strategy. It's wherever you're going to execute the strategy, wherever that entry is going to be, it's either going to be a confirmed entry or a not confirmed entry. You know what I mean? Like in a very neutral perspective of markets, like regardless of your sample size and everything, the market will either confirm 4600, this is sell at 4630, or it won't confirm it, regardless of what reason it is that you took that trade. So either going to accept it or it's going to reject it. Copper prices fall with Goldman pointing to correction risks. we're getting some fundamental work here also in favor of gold shorts. Let's see. We just got a new 5-minute candle open, creating its top wick. Might get a sooner entry here, depending on how the next resistance is going to be formed. Let's see if this candle here can rip up. Actually, trading ranges is quite I'm used to it now, but I see it could be quite an exhaustive process. Trying to catch a move outside of a range like this, it can be quite exhausting. No. Let's see what the poll is. All right, so we got the poll at 73%. People vote yes, we should play music. 76. Could be a sneaky move that's about to happen here. It's cooking, chat. It's cooking. It's cooking something here. It's cooking something here. Bearish wedge flag. This is a smaller version of what happened yesterday. It's cooking, it's cooking. See how that battle between buyers and sellers is getting really tight? Yep, this could be the push. It's just a section here that we need to be very cautious about right there. Thing is, there could be a setup happening right in between here or right above here. Either one of these two sections here have a potential distribution. I don't miss it. We need a support to be formed. Let it pull up. Let it pull up. So I'm just keeping an eye out for this resistance right over here. Price comes up. Boom. Tested one last time and then breaks below. If this candle closes bearish, this could be the small accumulation here. It'll be much nicer if it retests a bit more higher up. Yes, perfect. Retest that high, and then now if it breaks these lows, now look a lot cleaner for me. So it's setting up again. Remember, like what I was looking for, like right over here, that got invalidated with all this. It's setting it up again. Especially if this 5-minute was to reflip. You can see how the 5-minute here is moving up bullish like this, being supported by those candlesticks. If it was to reflip down bearish again, re-break its lows, break the lows, and then keep pushing down. Because you can see the buyers are trying to push it up, but they're really struggling. And once they tumble, it's game over. Once that entry confirmation comes in, it could be curtains on the buyers for now. It take over 4,600. But again, new 30 open. In 4 minutes, it could move a lot. Yeah, it's not yet had a push. It's not yet had a push, chat. Like, this is entry confirmation where it could have that push. Because see, it wouldn't confirm it. It wouldn't confirm it unless it wants to. Ideally, you should not confirm it unless it wants to. You see, like a situation like this, it didn't confirm that break. Instead, it pulled up. Right? They pulled up and invalidated the setup. So it shouldn't confirm it unless it wants to. Let's see if we can get liquidity grab confluence over here. If candlestick can break above this high and then start ripping down. Now it's confirming the break of the highs. See, it's confirming an entry. Instead of breaking the lows, it's confirming the entry of the highs. So you see where it was currently sitting at. It was like a very important area this is. And this is something I was trying to catch. Like you see how it's reacting? Some like this, but I wanted to catch that to the downside. So I want to see if I can get this as some kind of a confluence. Maybe we get that grab. But this is the sort of reaction that we would be expecting from coming out of this zone right over here. But if it closes above that area, then I think that that's going to invalidate it again. Gonna have to wait. Wait for like lows to get broken. see how big it pulls. Can it pull down, pull down, pull down? I think that should be okay. 5 minute just closed above. Spaghetti PA. This is spaghetti trading here. What time is it? Oh, already in 1.5 hours. Gold right now. Ooh, very tricky, eh? Very tricky. See if we get that liquidity grab. It's like a trophy. It's like trophy hunting. You know, if you think about like how people go trophy hunting, this is like a trophy hunt right here. Because this is like to catch the actual move is gonna be something that, you know, you're gonna put on your wall and you're gonna show your buddies. Even though I don't support obviously I don't support that type of thing, but just an example. All right, we're coming down. Might get triggered here. Silver's still bouncing down off 90 resistance, so we're still ranging. Because, you know, this is it's a very risky one, because if you miss the first entry, it can be more detrimental to look for a secondary entry. Because sometimes the riskier trades are the ones that you should be taking, right? See, it's pushing up again. It doesn't want to break the lows. It's not yet confirming like sells. It's been confirming more buy entries, which is a weird part. It's confirming a lot more buy entries, but it's not confirming the sell entries. Now rebroke the highs too. No confirmation. Can we see from 1 hour bullish is stronger? 1 hour is still being supported by that 8 SMA. So we got that kiss of death situation there on the hourly. Still supporting it quite nicely. 4 hour rejections. 30 minutes still holding this section right here. Trying to focus on the 1 minute, because the 1 minute is where we're getting all the information. On the higher time frames, we're not getting enough information here to know what to do. But yeah, I mean, look at the 15. 15 is just rejection slowly. It's slowly rejecting this zone. Slowly creeping up there. I'm just waiting for a candle to either rip up or rip down. Eventually, we should have something of the sort happen, like something crazy like this, or price to kind of like move up a little bit more, and like push up like this too. You get a whip. And you get a whip. And you get a whip. We all get whips. Triggered in. Got a sell here. Secured 28 pips at a 1 to 1.45 minute candle close above range before breaking the wick, and the next candle got a bottom wick, which gave me further confluence. Beautiful. Fake out. Okay, so entry at the break of the range. This on the 1 minute. Sell 20 pips. TP 1 to 1.4. 28 pips. Nice. You see 28 pips, 30 pips. This is like the most push that you typically get, like close to 30 pips before those pullbacks start to happen. Yeah, like 28 pips and then price out pulling back. Awesome. Amazing chart. Idea played out perfectly. All right, we got like a sell over here. A buy. This accumulation break. 5 minute. Small grab that happened down over here. Break of the highs. I'm pretty sure this was clean range as well. On like the 15 minute. 15, 30 minute. For price to keep moving up bullish. Very nice. So like gold is still now getting ready for what it wants to do, but the question is, even if it distributes upwards and you've been trading since the London session time, how could you have avoided all of these fake outs? Like even if price moves up, question is, how could you have caught this move whilst avoiding any sort of fake outs over here? So you got to look at your system and see if your system actually has some mechanisms to protect you from certain things like this happening. You see, like my system, it's protected me from taking a sell. This whole time, I could have taken a sell, and look at this, no sells played out over here. So you got to look at your system for not only what it provides you in terms of profit, but protection as well. So you see, nothing, no sell confirmation. Price just moved up, start breaking the highs. We're finally getting a movement though, at least. You see the daily bias has flipped back down to being waiting. So we're no longer trending anymore. So that bearish pressure is no longer there. And you can see it also with the way the candles are moving now. And daily bias flipping back to waiting. No longer there. Look at that, now it's filling up the range. Finally, Goldie. Holy. Quite a zone that has been. Especially on the 15, look at those rejections though. It was hinting towards moving up, but you know, you never know. Sometimes it creates these kind of like false supports, and then instead of moving up, it could have easily just moved down. You're gonna see that happen sometimes too. It's gonna create like a false illusion of a support, and then rip back down. That's where your entry confirmations play a role into. If you got them, then there's a higher probability that that would have happened. But if you didn't get it, then no probability. But now it's filled the range. You see, but anyway, it did the reversal confirmation I was talking about. Like you see how I was like trading below this level, right over here. What we spoke about, how these previous sellers, they would be getting a signal from the market that they need to manage their risk, and you see why that's so important. Like whenever the market gives you insurance like that, this is why you should take that insurance, because it's a warning sign, right? Don't only think about yourself. Think about like all these other traders in the market. You see, you got profit taking here at the 5 minute resistance as well. So you can see that reaction. So you should always think about like also all the other traders in the market. And that's how you kind of improve your edge. See this beautiful profit taking 5 minute targets here have been hit. And then warning sign for the sellers has been completed. GG chat, GG. So we must move over to the next section now. Since we're done with that sample size, we can put that a sample size here on another table. And now we can move over to the next sample size. Then we're going to go and investigate that one. Because that other one, it didn't give us the reaction. So, you know, you got to be like a scientist. We're there with our pipettes. And we're just making little droplets in the sample dishes with our pipettes. If you don't get that reaction, then you know, you say, oh, okay, so we got to try again here. Now I got to wait. Now we have to wait. Got a win for 60 pips, but the progress is not smooth. Science. So how can we make the progress smooth? If the progress is not smooth, what can we do to make it smooth? Let's read some news over here. Most copper price rally has already played out, leaving the market increasingly exposed to correction, according to Goldman Sachs. Prices have surged over the past 2 months, driven by supply concerns stemming from mine disruptions and heavy stockpiling in the US, which has tightened availability of metal elsewhere. Current high prices are likely to be sustained throughout Q1. Why does it say 1Q Q1? I think that depends if you live in America or the UK or something. As uncertainty surrounding the US refined coppers. Chat, is it 1Q or Q1? Isn't it Q1? I think it's Q1 if you live in the UK, right? Just the same as people do risk to reward ratio or leverage. Sometimes they say like 100 to 1, or depending on where you live, they say 1 to 100. I think I got more British English. You know, I like to say analysis, mostly with an S, not a Z. Or I like analyze or analysis. Analysis. I don't know. In US, they use like Z a lot. In UK, British English, we use S a lot. But anyway, see, uncertainty surrounding US refined copper tariffs remains. It says copper market fundamentals have been deteriorating in recent months, with global inventory continuing to rise. Copper futures on the London Metal Exchange fall 2%. Let's see. Gold falls on profit taking, easing worries about Iran. So gold prices slipped as investors booked their profits after precious metal notched a record high on Wednesday, while easing fears of imminent US military action against Iran also weighed on demand for havens. Sentiment was further pressured by Trump's softer tone on Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Oh, he had a softer tone on Jerome Powell? What did he say? In an interview with Reuters, Trump said he has no plans to fire Powell despite a Justice Department criminal investigation. Yeah, he ordered a subpoena on Powell. So what's going on here? You know, Trump is a guy who would play like such a bad mental, emotional damage on you. You know, like if Trump was a partner of yours, he's the type of guy to give you some kind of mental struggle. Investors are now looking to the US physical weekly job loss claims data for clues on Fed policy outlook, as lower interest rates tend to support non-yielding assets such as gold. So what is Trump on about, man? I've seen Trump do this so many times. You know, at one point he wants to tear your head off. The other point he says, you know, you're not such a bad guy. Not such a bad guy. And then another moment he wants to tear your head off. Like, what's going on, Trump? Like, how do you order a whole subpoena on the guy, push it to this limit, and then all of a sudden you take a softer approach on him when you know you're winning? Because you know you're winning and you know it's easy to win. Then you're like, okay, so let me just take it easy on the guy. That's the kind of guy Trump is. You just want to win. You just want to know that you can win. And once you know that you can win, it's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, that's been playing a role. That's been playing a role as to why price is profit taking today, moving down a bit. There should be proper Brits in the chat. Q1. Hey, but at least Goldie got its release, right? Like this has been what it was. So I think anybody who like managed to catch that move, that's quite a nice trophy to have anyway. You see that's a first distribution outside of this zone, right over there. Really not an easy one to catch. So especially if you're looking for buy accumulation breakouts, then you would have already been faked out a few times before catching this one. It actually faked out once before even moving up, if you can see on the 1 minute. Right over here, it broke above the high, and then it came down to take out the lows before actually moving upwards. So wow, man, you'd have had like a bigger stop loss or something of the sort. Oh, but it came right next to 20 pips. You would have actually survived that with a 20 pip stop. They would have survived it for price to move up. But then there were fake outs that happened like in these previous areas too. But you see, that's the section at least we're done and dusted with. So at least we get the movement. We don't have to worry about it anymore. The traders got what they got, and now we can move over to the next session. Oh, not next session, but next zone for trading. This week gold is pretty choppy. Yeah, it is. It is quite choppy this week. It is quite choppy. The only thing I wish I traded was Monday. Monday was so nice. Monday volume was so nice, and the daily opened there without even a bottom wick on Monday. Wednesday was also kind of similar situation, but we didn't get as clean PA as we did on Monday. So Monday opened up and just skyrocketed. Wednesday opened up, skyrocketed. It's taken over 5,600 psychological right here. Price is looking maybe like on the 1 hour. If 1 hour could get above this zone by 46.13, then you'd see price, you know, maybe have a better chance to fill this range up here by 46.40. Get above this kind of resistance. It's very important resistance. You see, even for the higher time frame, that resistance, there's pretty key resistance. That price has to get above 46.20 so that price can keep moving up. Don't get above it, then you know, higher time frames is just gonna chill down here for a bit. But I think it's also getting a reaction off that daily support, as you can see right over here. Daily support, boom, boom, boom. So there's a chance we might even see the daily flip because it doesn't take much. 156 pips is light work for gold. So you might see that daily flip. You might see the all-time highs. The key thing is you want to see movement, right? Like if you want to be on the safe side of the market today, you want to see some kind of a movement. You don't want to see what we saw yesterday. Because see what you had to do with yesterday? People were trading. You had to deal with all of this accumulation here. So you'd have figured a way to survive all of this, you know. But at least it was spread out a bit more and it wasn't so tight. There's like a 200 pip range from that support. So you could have easily gotten like more buys towards the lows and sells towards the highs. But overall, market condition was super choppy. But that's basically we had that, but on such a small version of that here. But it could have been the case that this would have been much longer as well. Because remember, this distribution is only 10% of the time, right? Like, we didn't get our entry confirmation, so we couldn't get stuck into this. It's only 10% of the time. Most of the time, you have to see and figure out how can you survive. The rest of the time in market is just still setting up. That's actually what makes a good trader a good trader. You know, it's their ability to differentiate between those things. When should I trade? When should I not trade? But mostly when should I not trade? When should I not trade? Yeah, this was wild. Even this buy was wild this morning. Almost got stopped out on the buy. Take a buy over here. Then price pushed up quite nicely. Got some. Oh wait, no, it's not this one. Got some kind of a retracement here. Boom, price came down, retraced, and then continued to move up bullish. Close one, close one. I could already tell there might be a bit of a shock in the water today. By the way, price retraced there. I see Yoshi on the 15. Beautiful art. We gotta go. Has nobody thought about opening an art museum for trading charts? I feel like that would be cool. Like where you can all just go look at charts, right? You should have that in right next to the New York Wall Street. Wall Street in New York. I'll go for that. I'm pretty sure that's happened once at least, right? Surely that's happened one time. Like a small little pop-up event for art. Go look at charts. That would be sick. I'll go for that. That would be actually interesting. What do you see? Oh, I see a fair value gap in there. What do you see, Vic? Oh, I see a little accumulation. You know, I see a little accumulation. This guy sees a little divergence over here. All right, let's see. Let's see. Where's price going? Yeah, I want to see price rip back down. Because right now the structure is still setting up here. You got resistance. You have support. And this is the overall kind of like a playground. This is a playground, sandpit you gotta play in now. So question is, could you have survived this to cash this? Because you know there's no hindsight trading. Hindsight trading, very difficult. Could you have survived this to catch this? If you couldn't have, then it's simply you just need to wait. Because now we're at the top of the range. What you might see end up happening next is price gonna have a reaction off the top of this range, and then set something up like some kind of a support. Like this, if we are gonna push down, which I don't know right now, it doesn't seem like it, but if we are gonna push down, then we'll get something like this. I wouldn't mind taking a sell, because at that point we should be daily bias should be back to bearish. It comes like somewhere down over here, and then look for a continuation down towards that support, because we got clean range. Because the market loves clean ranges, right? So it's just mopped up one clean range right over there. And we got another one. If price comes down, creates a support, we'll have another clean range down towards that next support zone. Same way it like mopped up this clean range down here, down towards that support. There's accumulation and then distribution out. So far, pretty good month. Can't complain. Quite happy with the progress so far this month. I think I built a lot of confidence in 2025. I see myself getting pretty close to my record gains in 2025 for 2026 over here. I think that could be quite achievable. But you see, in January of 2025, PA was quite slow. You know, only got about like 14%. Yeah, very slow PA. But 2026, man, January's been pretty good so far. Despite the over trading even yesterday. I take like 5 trades yesterday right over here, all of these trades. Still managed to come out on top. Which was just a pure battle with markets. Buy. 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 I think the only thing that played... Oh, wait, no. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it was just a pure battle. Pure battle yesterday. 1569. Can we get this thing to like 2K, chat? I feel like we've been on 1000 for so long. We're like 1569. If you go on the count here, I can't put, I can't put it 1570. Someone else got to do it. All right, let's see. We got the dock over here. I think the dock deserves an upgrade, so let's upgrade your role. What should we upgrade to? Oh, beginner level, intermediate. All right, let's get the dock to intermediate. Congratulations on intermediate, sir. Yeah, if you put like random numbers here, you're going to get a random reward. An upgrade. A role upgrade. Alright, we got Ken over here. Let's get Ken a beginner. Oh no, well, Ken's been putting in the work. Let's upgrade Ken a bit more. Oh, but he's no longer on the channel. I don't think he's on the channel anymore, so we're not going to give him an upgrade. Are you still on here? No, you're still on here. Look at silver skyrocketing. Silver's still moving up bullish. ATH, a little bit of a pullback here. Looks like a small liquidity grab on the previous daily. Might still manage to catch this gold short. So just need to see it rip down a bit. And it rips down, it's going to come out from this section right here. It's going to come out from here. It's going to distribute down a bit more and then come. You see what it's doing essentially here, chat, is a reversal signal on these previous buys. So you got previous buys over here and prices consolidating on the entries, which is really nice because they get an option to reduce risk. The market doesn't always give you an option to reduce your risk, right? So if it ends up breaking below that support, there's a pretty good chance that price is just going to come and rip down towards the stop losses. And I've already shown you this. I've already shown you this situation here on the 5-minute, correct? Like this is what I was talking about. It happens on like different scales because the market's fractal and you can see it happen on different scales. So you see it here, boom, boom, boom. This was that reversal. Same thing from here, that warning sign that once it breaks, and you see how the volume came in once it broke the high. Volume finally started coming. They thought they were going to get lucky here. Came down, but it rebroke again and then started going up against them. You see that? That's from that accumulation down over here. So a similar thing is happening on a smaller scale right here. So the idea is like for price to keep moving up for these buyers, it needs to respect below these lows by 46.10. Because your trades are always going to change. Like the condition of the trade is always going to change. It's always going to change. So it's a question of like whether you can actually look and see and identify that change so you can manage your risk. And if you can, it's a really awesome place to be because you're going to lose less, and by losing less, you're going to make more. But now on gold, of late, I've been taking either full losses on gold because of the amount of volume that's been in the market, and I like tight stops. I've either been getting like a full TP or a full loss. Very rarely I get now a chance to reduce my risk because my stop loss is like maximum 20 pips. Right? So I kind of just make sure that I'm risking the right amount before getting into the trade. Make sure it's a good trade as well. Because on the upside, since I don't get the chance to reduce my stop loss, I also get more of a chance to hit my TP because of the amount of volume that's there. So that's the pros of volume. You might not get a chance to, like reduce the stop loss sometimes, but you get a higher chance to know if your trade is right or wrong quicker. Which I actually like more, I would say. Did anyone watch the Trump announcement live yesterday? I found it hilarious. It felt similar to Don't Look Up humor. those Trump announcements happen so, like, they're never scheduled properly on the Forex Factory as well. They usually just pop out of nowhere. But if you want, you can go on Trump's roll call. If you want to keep up with his schedule, you can go here and then keep up with his schedule. So let's see, what do we got for today, Mr. Trump? 9 a.m. in town pool call. The president receives his intelligence briefing in the Oval Office. President participates in a lunch meeting with Maria Corina Machado, private dining room. That's 12:30 p.m. Nice. Get to see what Trump here is doing. Press briefing. Participates in a visit of the 2025 Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. That's quite busy, eh? It is not easy being president. Let me tell you that. I mean, like, obviously, but I think people, they're looking down upon Trump sometimes quite a lot, but it is not easy. Not easy. It'll be like super consistent. It kind of has to be in your blood, right? Just like how trading is in our blood, some of us. It kind of has to be in your blood. Because for some people, they're going to find it like tiring. And, you know, if they're going to be in a situation like this, for example, consolidation, seeing all this fake outs, you know, like you got to deal with a lot of psychological stress. Then maybe you find out that it's not so much in your blood, or you can just cultivate that skill over time. But yeah, once it gets in your blood, then, you know, it's something you can do without burning yourself out. Because I think a lot of people burn themselves out unnecessarily. Y'all are burning yourself out unnecessarily. And let me tell you something. I took like 5 trades yesterday. I didn't even want to journal. Like, I didn't even want to journal these trades. But obviously, I had to journal them. But that's what happens when you overtrade. You know, it's just way too much that you're doing. Now, imagine doing this like constantly every day. Like taking 5 trades constantly every day. You're going to burn out. You will not make it till the end of Q1. All right, let's see. Price coming down nicely. 0.35. Coming to retest that 8 SMA. See if we can get through it. There's not much analysis. We're just kind of waiting to see if price can actually reject this section right here, pull down a bit more, give a setup, and then maybe take it down towards that support by 46.02. Besides from that, there's really nothing. It's just paying out the buyers here. That's how you're seeing that reaction up towards resistance. You know, sometimes you don't actually have to look so far back. Because when you're going to look so far back, there's always a reason as to why something is happening, right? You can always draw like multiple zones here and find reasons as to why things are happening. So we don't like to do that because it's unnecessary. And this is old price action, right? This already happened in the past. So it doesn't really help anybody. You can also see here we had that reversal accumulation play as well. See that? Same thing that happened, broke below support and then started like break above the highs, filled up the range towards that resistance. So if they take a picture of this, this is the actually pretty clean image of that, of what I was trying to explain that was happening right here as well. Pretty clean image. Obviously, it's not as crystal clean because the market's never like crystal clear. But yeah, this is it. This accumulation that was reversal because I see the entry confirmations here. I can see where they are. I can see that fake out that we spoke about too. Right above that zone, and then left shoulder, head, right shoulder, volume came in. So a bigger accumulation from here to here. Now a smaller one from here to here. So this is all of anticipation of also everything that happened here. So I think that's why like it was setting up for so long and the market was still deciding where to go. You know, because at the end of the day, the market is actually correct. Like as much as we might want price to move in a certain direction, the market might just say, hey man, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Let me just make this quick move over here and then I'll come back. So let's see if it actually pulls back down. It's really not that far off from daily bias trending again. Just need a small little push. Do you trade silver? Nope. I don't trade silver. Can you please read my text kindly? I have read your text, sir. You see, instead of sending what you should have sent, you should have just sent your text. Because now I've read that text and... Okay, let me see. Oh, video editor. You need help? I'd really appreciate. No, we don't do that here.
We don't do that here.
See, if it starts breaking above these highs, it still has a lot of like sections to get through. You have some resistance up over here. 30-minute as well. You got some speed bumps right there. It's maybe going to look a little bit cleaner, as I mentioned, above this high. I think that's a 1 hour resistance point too. Yeah, as you can see, 1 hour resistance point. But as of right now, it is just trying to see the daily direction for the rest of the day potentially. Because if we come back here, actually this would be the perfect scenario that if price was to give me my setup here, come down, and then by the time pre-New York session rolls around here 6 a.m. Eastern up towards 8 a.m. Eastern, like between here and here, that price can attempt to continue moving up bullish. But for it to break above these higher time frame zones at 5 a.m. Eastern, it's not like the ideal, it's not like the most ideal situation. It's kind of the same way, like if you're going to trade pre-London time, you'd rather trade pre-London time at 1 a.m. Eastern instead of something like 2 a.m. Eastern. You know, that's more of an ideal time where London session actually moves. Pre-London. The pre-London time. So yeah, chat, I still got a bearish bias on gold for now. How would you rate that indicator that tells you the daily bias out of 10? 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10, sir. See, it's doing the accumulation again. See, 10% distribution, 90% accumulation. 90+% of the time, it's accumulating. Setting up. It's created a support. See if it gets through the support here. Breaks that low. Boom. Comes down, creates another support. Maybe the setup right here. And then get the next candlestick open and do this. That would be perfect, but see what the market does. This is now 0.28%. See, an instrument with 0.28% is not as appetizing. Because that means mixed bias. Because you gotta imagine this. You're trading the daily candle. Look at that. You're trading the daily candle. So how would this look like if you want to take a buy, you're trading against a bearish candle, essentially. If you want to take a sell, you're trading against a candle which is ripping back upwards. So that puts you in a very sticky situation, especially during the time that you're trading. For 5 a.m. Eastern, very sticky situation to see something of the sort. The indicator, how do you gain access? It's in the link in the description. There's a link in the description that says free daily bias indicator. Come on, man. You know this. You already know this. It's not your first time on YouTube, sir. Come on, you've been on YouTube before, right? Or you can come on the Discord. The Discord here, we got SMA indicator. Right here, you can click on the link. Alright, we even got a command. Alright, let me see if that command works. Indicator. Does it work? Oh yeah, it does work. But that's something else. Daily. I might need to make a command for that one. Oh, what is this? You have an unread message from TradingView. I'm scared to open it. Oh, we've noticed you've been growing your following and we want to reach out to let you know we're here to support you. Please let us know how you're enjoying our platform or if there's anything we can do to make your experience better. Also, now that you have some momentum, did you know that if you use your refer a friend link, you and your friends can collect up to $50 in rewards for each referral? Thanks for the chat. Keep up the great work. First time I'm getting a message like that there. Product is no longer available. What product? Things should be available. Let me see. See what's going on here. Daily bias. Indicator. Dun, dun, dun. It does work. Probably need a VPN or something. I don't know. Yeah, it all works. Can't retrieve it. You gotta click on add to favorites. Maybe you gotta try like on a different device. Because you essentially just have to get it on TradingView. Once you got it on TradingView, then it's good. So maybe you can try on your phone. You got TradingView on your app and then try and click on the link. Go to add to favorites. Yeah, you just need to get on your on your chart, then it's done. So that price is accumulating here. Still quite choppy, to be fair. Let's see, 15-minute. You still got that 5-minute resistance. Still kind of playing in this general area of 5-minute resistance. I still think, you know, a pretty good chance that it could tumble, because it's created a support here. We just need to get through that support. Break below the support. Come down, retest this next zone. This whole range is about, let's see, like 66 pips. Sorry, retested this whole section right here, so I think that was nice. The problem was like how it did it. That was the issue with how it did it. It did it in a very like sketchy way that made it difficult to actually catch that move. So now it's setting up again. I'm gonna set up something up here and then come back down, because this is creating now the next point A. So you got point A here, and you got another point A currently like cooking up right now. That's if I guess like it comes down, but if it keeps going up, then that's gonna be more like it's still in this sort of momentum phase right now. But if it starts coming down, then it's gonna create us like some kind of a different structure there. It's gonna create resistance. When it creates a resistance, then that momentum structure is gonna start looking a little bit different. It's not gonna look so much like it's actually pushing upwards like this. It's gonna look more like it's setting up to create a move potentially down towards 4602. And that's what I'm going to be looking for, a sell. Potential sell. But if we come up to like pre-New York and man, and we're still trying to push up these highs, there's a chance that price can just keep moving up. But we're going to have to wait and see like what structure do we have. So if the trade comes during that time, you know, it is what it is. I can't really do much about that. But we have to see what kind of structure starts to form right now. And let's see how we can execute. But yeah, right now, man, doesn't look like it's. It looks like it's still deciding. You see, it's broken into that range kind of PA again. Again, like wicks, you're getting low volume, starting to like stop a little bit, slow down. And I reckon it's trying to have some gains here on the daily. It's trying to go for a daily flip, but it still has a lot of heavy lifting to do. Needs about like 128 more pips if it can get up towards that daily flip. Does it work in multiple time frames, settings and stuff? No. It's supposed to keep it simple as possible. You see, that's something like a lot of people love to do. They like to overcomplicate things. Like you give them one thing and they want to like start overcomplicating it. So the idea is that it's supposed to remain simple. It's just supposed to tell you the overall volume, because now if I start including different time frames, you know what's going to happen? You're going to see bullish on the 5, you're going to see bearish on the 15, you're going to see bearish on the 30, but now you want to execute based off a 1 minute. And then the 1 minute is going to say bullish. It's like, what are you going to do? What do you want that is going to happen? That everything here is going to line up together? You know, like that's going to it's going to create like a lot of analysis paralysis 100%. So you cannot do that. You cannot do that. It's gonna, yeah, I mean, like you can take, you can go on ChatGPT and make one, but it will definitely make your trading a lot more confusing. So it gives a reading bias on the percentage move on daily. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Once we get that reading, it's going to be a lot more confluence of the direction that it wants to go towards. Now it's like 0.27 and it's still trying to push up. Do I trade silver? No, I don't. Big thanks, coach. I successfully added that indicator. I normally look at the 15-minute candle. It's a game changer. Like for me, it's a game changer, especially when markets are trending. That's when I'm really looking at that daily bias. And if I'm on the right side of the market, I know this running trade is gonna have a higher chance of playing out. It's a game changer. Like, you know, at the end of the day, trading is all about like how bad do you want it? You know, if you just want shortcuts and you're not willing to learn, like you're not willing to get educated, then it's just simply just not gonna work for you. Like it'll just be a thing that you tried and you failed at, you know. And looking at a lot of the businesses that I started when I still had this mental model of things should be easy for me, those businesses all failed. But looking back at them, it's actually because I never really applied myself to those businesses. I just kind of like dipped my toe in and I just wanted to see if I could get lucky. But looking back, I see I actually never applied myself. And that's why I failed so much. But trading was like the one thing or one business idea that I had which I actually applied myself. Like I'd actually tried and it worked out for me. But that's because I had to switch my whole mental model. You know, some people are still in this kind of like bubble where they think that it's just going to happen for them, but it's not going to just happen for you. You know, you actually, when was the last time you actually tried something? Like genuinely, actually tried something, but more than just like a few days or a couple of weeks. Like when did you really try something and give your all, like as much as possible? You know, like, and then that's when things actually start falling into place. That's when you start getting a lot more lucky and things start working out for you. Like if you can't be patient, if you can't wait for candlesticks to close, then you gotta go find something else to do, because like this is not gonna work for you. You have to be okay with like waiting for structure, waiting for entry confirmations, because that's how you build consistency and that's how the momentum actually kicks in. Like when you see me take like all these trades, I'm literally like only aiming to get maybe a maximum of 3 trades a day in a whole 24 hours. I think the amount of hours that I actually spend on the chart between like when I'm meant to be on the chart and when my trade setup comes, it's most probably within a time span of like 2 hours. Right? And I'm not talking about the time that I just spent on stream just because I want to be on stream with you guys, but like on a daily basis, the amount of time I spend trading is maybe you can say two hours on average. On average, my setups are going to come because it's been refined to a certain time when it needs to come. If it doesn't come during that time, then there's no setup, there's no move. So pre-London is going to be 1 hour, pre-New York is 1 hour. The London session is the one which is a little bit longer. It can come in the second hour, but within those hour candles, most likely getting the setup within the first 30 minutes at least. You know what I mean? And that's it. And that's it. It just compounds over time. It compounds over time with refinement, and you're not on the chart all day to catch wins like that. Like literally, you can't always seek action. So you have to look at the times that you're trading and see when is there going to be higher probability of your trade coming, and doing it in a way that's like as efficient as possible, that you're not always seeking action, right? Because if you don't seek action, you're actually on the upper hand with the market, because the market won't push you into like anything. But if you're seeking action, if you're like, oh man, I gotta get rich quick, man, like Vic took a trade today, I need to take 2 trades, 3 trades, like then that's when you put yourself in a very vulnerable position. And yeah, at that point it's gonna be quite messy, I think. Like even yesterday, I put myself in a very vulnerable position myself. Like I rarely do this, but I can already see the mental drainage that it had on me to take 5 trades in a day. I could already see that, even with all these years of experience. Now imagine that for someone who's still learning and they're doing that continuously, week by week, day by day. You know, it's not where you want to be. So when I was learning how to trade, my mentor would already start to tell me from day one, stick to taking like a few trades a day. So I would only stick to taking 2 real trades a day, and the rest of the time was just like paper trading, chart work, just working on my psychology, pretending how I would react if I was in that trade, you know, that sort of thing. But every day I would just try to focus on 2 good disciplined trades. And hopefully like very disciplined, you know. At the end of the day, it was more about being disciplined than actually getting a winning trade. So that kind of helped me become like a bit to mitigate my emotions. You know, it's like for me, a winning day was basically following my rules. Big thanks, coach. Oh, okay, nice. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I wish like everybody would also like, I honestly wish everybody would also experience that, you know, that feeling of just seeing things come together from the work that you put in. Because also like Denzel Washington says, you can't complain about the things you don't have based off the work you didn't put in, you know. And it's such a good feeling, man. I can tell you it's such a good feeling, like to just see putting in work on something and then seeing like genuine work, like actually trying work, not like, oh, I deserve this type of work. And then seeing the results, the fruition of your labor. You know, for me, that's a W right there. Like even this channel right here, like this channel almost getting to 50K subs. For me, that's an amazing feeling. Like I've been streaming since I had like one guy watching me. Man, like I remember streaming I think I had like 1 people, like first week, second week I had like 10 people. Third week, I made like 20 people, 15 people, just kept improving the quality of everything. And just seeing that number grow, that's amazing because that's a process, right? That's a process. And once you're in love with the process, man, nothing gets in your way. Like you don't get emotional about things, you know, because you know what happens to people? They get caught up with the numbers too much. You know what I mean? Like even on streams, or like if you're making money, one time you're making a lot of money, one time you're making less money. So you get caught up with the numbers too much, and that kind of affects you, and it affects you from doing your job properly. So that's the kind of mental model you have to have in everything in life. You know, you can't force things sometimes. You just have to appreciate the journey and understand what's going on. Let's see, 0.27. This is actually a nice setup right over here. I like this little accumulation, but it needs to come a little bit down below, and then we'll get like a move. How much time do we got? Like 30 minutes? Oh, we got 30 minutes. Nice. In trading, you really need to go 100% and be willing to change the mental model. That is the hardest part. Learning in the way I see it's easy by following the rules and waiting patient. That is the hardest part. Yes. Okay, 20 minutes of going up, 1 candle down. Yeah, that is the hardest part. You guys gotta remember one thing, chat. Like, people want to see you do well, but they don't want to see you do better than them. So this is gonna be the same with, like, you know, even your close family or your friends. They want to see you do well, but not better than them. So don't get the emotional part like confused with what people think about you, or what you think that you should be based on people's expectations of you. You know, don't get that confused. You know, just focus on yourself, do your own thing, stay on your lane, keep providing value where you do your value, and that's it, man. That is all. Otherwise, man, let's say it's gonna be an emotional roller coaster. And I think that's one thing that trading teaches a lot of us traders, is how to remain stoic in the midst of a lot of things. Not just on the charts, but in the midst of a lot of things, personal life, businesses, etc. Just remain stoic. Got 2 kinds of people. You put them under pressure, they become a diamond. And you got another person put under pressure, he breaks. See, 0.30. Come on, Goldie. It would have been nice to get a sell, though. This is a setup that I really would have loved to catch right here. Because I know this could have played out quite nice. And also just the fact to catch that in the middle of all of this. Not even just about the W, but to actually catch a trade in the middle of all of this would have been pretty sick. Because trading is hard enough. It's hard enough as it is when it's moving properly. So like if you can catch a W trade when it's moving like garbage, then I think, you know, it's kind of like an ego stroke. Just stroke your ego a bit. Market is so exhausting today. I've already taken 2 good trades and I'm good for the day. Nice. Oh, nice one. Very good. Don't focus too much on the numbers, Chad. Because I know as traders, we love to focus on those numbers. We love to focus on those numbers. 14 was resistance though. Yeah, we got a... it's looking like small liquidity grab situation here. Break of those lows potentially. So yeah, it's gonna have a very hard time to get through that zone. This whole zone right here. Actually, this is the path of least resistance, because like when you focus on a when price looks to see a direction, it's focusing on the path of least resistance. Right, so you got least resistance right down over here. Just needs to break below that support. It can come down. Only numbers you should be focusing on is your performance rating. Yes. Yep. Because when you focus on the performance part of it, then you know that's what you can control, right? You can't control a bad day, but you can control if you just followed what you're meant to do on that day. That's the only thing. Like how consistent you are to following your rules, that's the only thing you can control. I can't even control if when I go to the gym I'm gonna have a good workout, you know, like maybe on that specific day I'm tired and maybe, you know, I just don't feel like doing it, but I can control doing it. I can control just getting there, and that's you're gonna feel so good about that already. You don't have to give 100. You don't have to give it 100%, but well, what is that quote? Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. Or is it like you don't have to give 100%, but you just must show up? Yeah, you just gotta show up. Yeah, it's accumulating. It's trying. You see why it's accumulating here, Chad? It's trying to break above these zones. It's trying to break above these highs right here on the left-hand side. You got like major resistance levels. It's trying to get through them. I'm super new to this, and I kid you not, my here is racing every time I'm in a trade. Oh, your heart is racing. I get you. I get you. Yeah, you're super new to it. Your heart will race. Well, my heart races a lot too. Because it's the first time doing something, right? So you just gotta get used to it. But yeah, I feel you. Like my heart used to race. I used to get sweaty palms. And that's why it was so much more important for me to take less trades, because I couldn't deal with the pressure. Like it's different. It's a different type of pressure for sure in the beginning. Because you forget that you can't control markets, right? So that's why the pressure is so much, because you haven't understood that you can't control the market. But once you fully accept that, then it becomes, you feel like you get to control the things which you can't control, which is your risk, the amount of trades that you take, your reactions to what happens next. You understand later that those things you can't control. But in the beginning, you focus on like, oh, this trade's coming to drawdown, it's coming to hit my stop loss. And you put a lot of pressure on that, almost as if you're trying to move the market with your own mind, that you want it to go in the opposite direction, but you can't control it. See, like right here, I'm trying to get a sell. I've been trying to get a sell since the London session, but it's been doing the complete opposite. So it went against my rules. Nothing I can do about that, but just wait. So that's what I can control, is my patience. So I know I'm just going to wait. And I know if I wait, that setup is going to come to me later. Like it does on a daily basis, you know? So if you know you get a certain result from being disciplined, wouldn't you want to do that result more? You know what I mean? The thing is, when you're still learning, you're not getting the results. Maybe you might not even be journaling, so you don't know. But you're not getting the result, so it doesn't feel like it makes sense to you to even continue trying. You know, but once you start seeing the result, a lot of people's problems in trading are going to be solved by like even taking one trade a day. If you take one trade a day, Monday to Friday, you will most likely be doing a lot better than majority people just by taking one trade a day at a specific time, that where you know you're going to have a better edge at a specific market condition. The hardest part is the waiting, because if you got like 24 hours and you get a trade in the first hour, so you know what are you going to do for the next 23 hours? You know, of course you're going to sleep for maybe like 6 hours, but what are you going to do with the rest of the time? That's the only most difficult part, is just the waiting part. But I would say if you master waiting, you master trading. It's in complete opposite. Small break here. Break of the highs. This one got faked out. Unless you took this sell. It's a very small sell right here. But that would be like only with a tighter stop loss. Let's see, from here to here, that did about like 15. Yeah, chat. So I think like that's what the analysis here is like. You gotta wait for. You see now it's coming above 46.16, and it's trying to break above 46.16. It's been accumulating here, trying to break this level, so it can keep moving up to fill this next range. We have like about 81 pips on the 30. Hourly could keep moving up. We could actually. That's why I'm still anticipating. Like we could actually see price move up for the rest of the day. Like for the hourly to fill even this range. This is the ATH right here. That's a 209 pip move. Then we head up towards 46.44. That's where price would be heading towards. You know, if it's not breaking above these levels here, we'll be heading towards ATH levels. So this is good because it seems that you know, hopefully the shock is out of the water now. As you can see, there was a lot of shocky PA that happened during the London Open right here, and here it's just trying to get through these levels. So basically what's happening is the market's doing all the heavy lifting for you right now, because once it gets through this zone, you're gonna have a lot more free space to maneuver a little bit more cleanly. Even if it's a sell later on, it's essentially creating a lot of nice range for you as well as candlesticks continue to move up, because that's kind of what you want to see. Is you want to see PA, which is obviously like moving in a certain direction, that it's flowing properly. There's a volume, you know, whatever direction that might be, as long as it's flowing. You know, as long as it's flowing, it's not choppy, there's not a lot of wicks. That's what we want to see, and that's kind of what we're starting to get right now. And you can see it's still in this overall distribution phase on the 15 minute, and also right over here on the 15 minute, as it's attempting to break above this resistance 46.17. So yeah, I think once we get through that point, it should be smooth sailing for price. At least up towards like 46.26 resistance area up there on the 30 minute, and then for the HTF to continue moving up on the hourly and above. And let me see, the 4 hour is flipping as well. Yeah, you see, it's like also like higher time frame. Sometimes they're waiting for higher time frame candles. So you got about 15 minutes for 4 hour here to close, and the 4 hour is starting to actually have its movements towards the end of the candlestick closing. Sometimes it's like that, I guess. You know, you're gonna have to accommodate or cater for the higher time frames too. And don't forget that those are also part of the market. Because as scalpers, sometimes we forget that we forget there's such a thing as an hourly or a 4 hour, or you know what I mean. So yeah, I gotta cater for those HTF candles too. Yeah, sometimes market doesn't move because of them. So right now it seems pretty nice. It's opening, at least opening up a lot more. See, 5 minutes is just closing above that resistance. Let's see if we can respect above this high. See if we can keep pushing up. Okay, nice bottom wick. New hourly is gonna open in the next 15 minutes. This hourly potentially has already had like one move, but not such a significant move. Right now from the open, it's like 46 pips. So what week is this? It's the second week of January. I already feel like I've been trading here for a whole month. Only the second week. I already got my monthly targets met. But look at this weekly candle open with no bottom wick. We got no bottom wick on the previous week as well. So still a lot of bullish exuberance. In terms of the news, we saw softer comments from Trump towards Powell. We saw non-military intervention to Iran. So all these things were contributing to price coming down earlier on. So I don't know why it's moving up now. It's probably just moving up from the general exuberance. Oh yeah, and also what is this? November produced price data, both headlines core came in softer than anticipated, reinforcing earlier signals from a tame December consumer inflation report. Figures support expectations that the Federal Reserve has flexibility to implement multiple rate reductions this year. You see, that's all kind of like still speculation, so we're just gonna wait for see what happens next FOMC event. Supposed to be in, I think, like 12 days, 13 days. Yeah, 13 days. Pretty sure nothing has changed, even based off the data we got yesterday. Yeah, it's still at 95%, no change. It's quite interesting to see how far Q1 is going to push on Goldie. It's already at 4,700. It's a pretty nice target, that is. Looking at maybe like 48, 48, 49. That's quite doable. You can see like 5K, depending on what happens, especially over the weekends. So over the weekends, we've been noticing a lot of like market moving news. So it could be a similar situation next week there too. This is insane. Look at how parabolic this is on the quarterly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight bullish candlesticks. Sheesh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish candles. I think this time around we didn't get as many people thinking that gold was parabolic as we did in the previous years. I remember in the previous years, whenever we would see price like start to move up like this, people wouldn't almost like believe that gold can continue sustaining that movement, and then price would just keep moving up. But I think this time around, like everyone kind of knows, everyone's kind of privy to why gold is moving so much. It's become super mainstream news now as well. This looks beautiful. Monthly, let's see, weekly. Small break and retest there on the weekly too. Break, retest, push up. Well, I think it was a daily target. A daily target would look nice by let's measure this out. We take like an educated analysis here. Not just guessing, you know. Maybe around like, wow, 4,700? It doesn't feel like a 4,700 type of day, to be honest. This was Monday open, so we had news come in during the weekend, so that's why it pushed up that much. Yeah, I'll probably like hold this range. I wouldn't be surprised to hold this range. Maybe I like, okay, if we reflip New York session, we're about to get that daily reflip. Reflip and break the highs. Surely we can take these previous daily highs and keep pushing up maybe. You know, the thing about gold, it typically has an average true range, but with the amount of volume that's in the market, there's no like average true range anymore. I feel like Goldie just decides to pop up whenever it wants to pop up. Because average true range in gold, you typically would be like 500 pips in the previous years, but now we're seeing like 1,000 pip candles. So what would we say, Chad? Like 46.60-ish, little conservative mark. Take the ATH, then move up about like 195, 186 more pips. Oh yeah, but this is definitely getting ready. You can see it on the 4-hour too. There's range on the 4-hour. That looks pretty clean. Once we start taking those daily, they get that daily reflip, which is really not that far off. I think it was what, 100 pips from where we are. Yeah, it's getting less and less. Now it's about like 80, 87, 90 pips. Get that daily flip, and then I think it should be pretty good. Maybe it's going to do what it couldn't do yesterday, because yesterday it tried a lot to break the ATH, but it couldn't. It had one last attempt here during the New York session open, but it just couldn't. It just could not. Then it ended up tumbling. It tried again during close to market close, which is quite interesting. But very low probability chance that actually goes anywhere towards this close towards a market closure. Then it just kind of tumbled off during the Asia session. Now it's starting to pick up steam again during the London. So that's what it seems like it wants to do. It wants to like come up there and retest those zones. But first we got to take step by step by first and foremost respecting the zone. And if we can respect 46.16, then that, if we can at least stay above this area, then that's a good sign for at least clean volume to come in, you know? Clean volume towards the upside. But if we start dipping back, and that sort of thing, then that's gonna create a bit of confusion, just like what we had happen right over here. So what we generally want to see is like if gold can keep this momentum up. You see, it's creating an accumulation right over there. So if it breaks these highs by 46.19, it could even continue to spring up to fill up this range on the left hand side, on the 30, on the hourly. But you see, it's setting up here right now, a little bit of an accumulation break. So it is currently in some kind of movement. So this is what we want to see, if it can keep that up. It's about to start breaking these highs. This is good. This is really good. Because that's direction, you know? Sometimes you just need that direction too. It's like a golf swing, in a sense. You're looking at a golf swing. Here, you see, swinging, you get the direction. Boom. No, you can't take partials on a 0.01 lot. But you can reduce your stop loss. That's the only thing you can reduce to manage your risk, but you can't secure partials. What are you gonna secure partials of? You can secure partials. Actually, no, you can. You can double scale. Double scale your position. That's how you're gonna do it. So double scale, you can close one position. It's like closing 50%. Finally entered something. Okay, anticipating a buy. This is on the 15-minute. See, it's 15-minute. We want to see this accumulation break. So you have accumulation confluence, right? If we can re-break these highs, we need to break these highs with a bit of volume. Then I think you can see a bit of a pop come in at that point. You get a little bit of volume too. But yeah, you got like some clean range over here. Waiting price to come up. Hey Daniel. Good morning. AUD-JPY rocking. After this, I'm gonna go on a vacation. See, order block. What is that? AUD-JPY. Yeah, this is gonna be beautiful, you know, because if it goes up, look at this amazing range. Amazing range. If you're gonna set and forget this, you gotta put like some kind of an alert somewhere, or you gotta put like where you put your stops to break even. Maybe as it breaks above these highs, you can put your stop loss to break even, and then set like a take profit. You see this? This is extended. It's nice, but let's see where it's currently at. Like right here, you probably use a structure here. You know, if you want to have like a peace of mind, what I would typically suggest is like put a more conservative take profit. So you know you don't have to like look at the chart to know that take profit can get hit, because you know sometimes we get this really nice analysis here, and our take profit misses by a little bit. Then we have to deal with like additional drawdowns and that sort of thing. So what I used to do is like set less perfect analysis take P. That way I can fully live it without any intervention, that thing is definitely going to get hit, that I don't even need to manage or anything. But when you have like a very specific area that you're looking for, sometimes you're going to have like very specific results that you might need to monitor as well. It's in the middle of the range, then, you know, what does it mean that price is going to reject in the middle of a range, you know? Like there's nothing there, so it's most likely going to hit. But yeah, let's see it. Let's see if it can go. Get a nice little run over there. Put your trade analysis. Got 2 trades today and down about 1% and done for the day. Nice. Amazing. Yeah, you're winning, man. You're winning. So you shouldn't want to risk that profitable trade. You know, since you've had a winning day, you can end the day as a winner. You know, you don't have to risk that. So I think it's pretty nice. Is aiming for 1 to 3 a bad idea in forex? Because I used to get 1 to 3 or more in crypto, but here it fails. In forex, what do you mean? Like specifically, what pairs are you talking about? Because gold is a commodity and gold is moving a lot. So 1 to 3 is not out of the realm of possibility. But if you're talking about like other forex pairs, depends on what you're trading. You know, like maybe something like GJ can move a bit slower. So I don't know. It kind of depends on how you trade. And you know, are you a scalper, you swing trader? Cryptocurrency is volatile as well. Like it's gold is an equivalent to crypto in a sense. I would think. I would say kind of like a similar in terms of volume, probably. But yeah, gold is what you want to trade. If you want to trade volatile pairs, maybe you can look at Gbpjpy USD. It's pretty volatile. I like the fact that you see Gbpjpy USD. It has these really nice, and actually there's a beautiful trade that's played out here. It has these really nice swings. You see like pretty nice swings like this. So whenever you look at an instrument, like if you want to look at a forex instrument, just look and see how it's like obviously swinging. You see the swings? That's why I love GU, for example. Has a really, really nice swings. That's what's going to give you a 1 to 3s. Did the gold try and break? Yeah, it did try and break. All right, chat. It looks like the setup didn't come. So yeah, I usually like to take a small little break right now. So I'm gonna take a break and then look at what's happening, what's crack-a-lacking here. So remember, don't force any entries. Even like this entry, for example, I'm most likely gonna miss it. So I don't mind it, but once it plays out, it's going to give me a better idea of overall bias. You know, as we're about to open a new hourly candle right now, we can see what that hourly candlestick is going to do. Maybe it's going to rip down like this. Just kind of give me an idea of what's to expect. But if it like goes upwards, maybe you're going to get a better idea here that price can continue to move up bullish. So that's what I want to see. I want to see if price can keep moving up bullish, fill up this range. Right over here towards a 46.27. Right, so I'm gonna get a small refresh now and then look and see from a new set of eyes, because I've been looking at the chart here for quite a long time. So we're gonna come back, look at this differently now. See, the new hourly candlestick just opened. It's just starting to break here without no bottom wick though. So I appreciate you guys tuning into the stream, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. And make sure you watch that video I uploaded yesterday on the YouTube channel. It's very important. Very important. It's going to happen again. Adios.
Pull up